You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender on Ron Siegel Radio. Welcome back. The one, the only, Frank Garcia. How are you, sir?
I'm fabulous. It's great to be here today and share with you. I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for the opportunity.
Glad to have you with us. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I don't get it. Today, I look at the National Day calendar, and it comes up telling me that today is National Mint Julep Day. Wait a second.
It is what it is.
Mint juleps are for the Kentucky Derby. The Kentucky Derby is the first Saturday of May every year, and here we are at the end of the month. I don't understand this one. I am a little slow here, but you know, I just don't get why we would be celebrating Mint Julep Day, but we are. So the question of the day is, have you ever had a mint julep? I can honestly say that I never have. You ever had a mint julep, Frank?
No, I never have.
Okay, here, I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up, and I knew that it's the drink of the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
And I know it's a Southern drink. It's mint leaf, which you can tell that, mint julep. I guess you'd have to have a mint leaf. Bourbon, sugar, and water.
Wow.
I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, even though I've beaten anorexia, I can leave out the sugar. I can leave out the water. I can leave out the mint leaf. And what does that leave me? Bourbon. I could go with that. When I was in college, I was a Jack Daniels drinker. And now it's more Tito's, but that's a whole different story. Question of the day. Have you ever had a mint julep? If you're watching us live, put a comment. It's a simple one, yes or no. Put it in the comments. If you're watching a replay, please put that in the comments. Have you had a mint julep, even if it is the end of the month and it should have been at the beginning of the month? But let's move right along and see what's going on in the markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 336 points. But is that a head fake? Is it really telling us anything at all about the market? No. Because when you use the weighting of the market, Salesforce itself is down 54 points as I speak right now. If you're listening to us live, it is about 9 in the morning. If you're listening to the replay, I don't know what time it is because you're listening to it and I'm not with you. But Salesforce is down tremendously today. They missed some of their numbers. They're down 54 points. That's accounting for about 300 points in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Dow is down 322. So it's a little bit misleading when you look at that number. The S&P 500 is down 16. The NASDAQ down 83.5. Oil down 94 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury is down a little bit, 4.55. It's been going straight up all week. So it's nice seeing it down a little bit. And I don't know if we want to even talk about this one, but it is getting close to the weekend, Friday Eve almost. The gas prices, $5.10 a gallon here in the formerly Golden State. We are number one. Ironically enough, they break it when you go to AAA and you look at gas prices, they break it down into 5 different sections. So it goes from the lowest all the way up to the highest, and they break it, 5 sections. Let's do a little math. 50 states, 5 sections. That's probably 10 per state, 10 per section. Of course, I guess, who was the president? Was it Obama or Biden that said that we had 58 states? I don't know, but that's a different story. But so out of the top 10, the highest price top 10, California is at $5.10 a gallon. The number 10 highest is at $3.75 a gallon. Does anybody feel like we're getting taken advantage of here by our taxes and fees in the formerly Golden State? $3.57 is the national average for gasoline. And yes, Mississippi is still the best in the country. $3.03 a gallon. Even Hawaii, $4.77 a gallon in Hawaii. They don't produce any gasoline in Hawaii, so they've got an extra truckload to bring it over there. Yet they're still significantly cheaper than we are here in the formerly Golden State. Why are the markets doing what they're doing in addition to that? Well, we're starting to feel the pinch of what's going on in the economy. It would be nice, though, if the president had any idea of this. I was listening to the news early this morning, as I do most days. And you may not have ever heard this term because until this president, I really hadn't heard it very often. You ever heard of the White House putting a lid out? What does a lid mean for the White House? Well, it basically means there are going to be no more president sightings for the day. Now, I saw this sometime when I was watching the news. It must have been in the 7 o'clock hour, California time. That would be 10 o'clock on the East Coast. And the president was calling it a day. I wish I could call it a day at that time. Maybe if he wasn't calling it a day so early, he would realize the economy isn't doing nearly as well as what he said. I just saw an article this morning, another one, and they said fast food is now a luxury item. Can you imagine somebody really saying that I'm going to take my wife or husband out for dinner tonight? We're going to go for a real nice dinner. Oh, where are you going? Oh, McDonald's. Could you imagine that? I think if I said that to my wife, I might have a nice warm spot on the couch for quite a while. But I'm just throwing that out there. But that is the news. Is they're saying that luxury meals, that because of where the economy is right now, fast food is luxury dining. I took my wife and son over to Five Guys for a quick lunch last Friday. And if you're in Southern California, if you're in North Orange County, last Friday, right before the holiday, it was treacherous in North Orange County. We have this car chase going through, starting in Corona about 8:30 in the morning, coming up to Anaheim Hills. The guy parks on the middle of the 91 freeway. They have about 100 police cars behind him. The freeway stopped for miles and miles. We're going to go out to lunch. We go to Five Guys because my wife needs to get somewhere quickly. 3 of us at Five Guys. I think it cost like $48. And we didn't have any drinks. We drink water. And we shared a French fry. $48 to go for burgers. Now, I like their hot dog. Do you like Five Guys?
Yeah, it's great.
Now, they have a hot dog there. It's a bacon cheese hot dog.
Oh, it's a good, healthy one.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. Well, that's why I've beaten anorexia, Frank. We were talking about that before we went live on air.
Yeah.
It's might not be the best thing in the world for me, but I like it. But I mean, $40-some. That was before we even gave a tip. And don't even get me started on tips nowadays. No matter where you go, it's that they want a tip. And I'm trying to understand what is the right thing of tipping anymore. I don't want to be a cheapskate, but I started wondering about tipping. If I go to a restaurant and I go and I order at the counter and I pay at the counter and I go and I pick up my food at the counter, I sit down, I do eat it myself as well, and then I bust my tray. Well, I think that was like when I was in college, we called that a cafeteria.
Yeah.
And I never left a tip there.
That's right.
But now you go up there and they want to know what's the tip you're leaving. I thought the tipping was geared for, good service. So I took the money out of my left pocket. I put it in my right pocket. I did a great job. Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the biggest mistakes real estate buyers are making today. Borrow smart. We're going to talk about that. I deal with the liability side of the balance sheet, but we're going to talk to Frank Garcia about your assets, about your money. And if you're old like me, well, actually older than me because I don't qualify yet, what do you understand about when to collect Social Security? All that and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. With consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide, they do not tell us points paid, points received, or APR. They just tell us the number that you need to put in your mortgage calculator to figure out what your mortgage payment is. And of course, if you don't have a mortgage calculator, we are problem solvers at Ron Siegel Radio. Go to ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com. No, you don't need to get a loan. Just grab the app, and it does have the mortgage calculator right there. What did rates lock at yesterday? 30-year conforming loan up. Ooh, that was up a lot. 7.103. 30-year jumbo loan, that was up 7.294. 30-year FHA loan, that was up 6.804. 30-year USDA loan, rural areas, generally no down payment. That one was up 6.846 in the best loan on the market. The 30-year VA loan, 6.653. That was up. Everything is in the green. This is one area that we really don't like to see things in the green, but it is what it is, and we have no options.
It is what it is.
Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. We've got the S&P 500 down 16.59 as I speak to you right now. The 10-year Treasury, that one's down 6 basis points. That's the yield, down 6 basis points, 4.55. And the mortgage-backed securities, the bond, is up 29 basis points. When the bond goes up, the rate goes down. It's just mathematics. Why? What's driving these things? As I share with you on a regular basis, those numbers can all be found on that super secret website, google.com. And if it's on the internet, you know it's true. Sure it is. But let's see what's going on, what's driving this. Well, we got the second reading for the first quarter GDP numbers. You see, they give us the first reading, then they come out with a second reading, then we get the final because they can't get it right the first 2 times. So hopefully they get it right by the third time. Second reading, Q1 GDP showed that the U.S. economy grew by 1.3%, which is a slowdown from 1.6% estimate in the first reading. Even with the emergency-like spending our government is doing, we're still only seeing 1.3% annualized growth, which is a weak image if we were not spending like we are. Think about that concept. The economy is growing at 1.3%. And the government is printing money every single day, borrowing money every day. Within the GDP report, there's also a quarterly reading on PCE, the personal consumption expenditure prices, ahead of tomorrow's monthly reading, which is more real time and important. Both the headline and core readings were 1/10 below estimates, which is helping the bonds to rally. Pending home sales, which measures signed contracts on existing homes, fell 7.7% in April, lower than the 0.6% decline expected. The level of sales took a big turn after a strong March reading. We're seeing a clear response to higher rates in April, but rates made a nice improvement throughout most of May, not at the end, which could lead to higher sales figures in the next report. On a year-over-year basis, sales are down 7.4%. Apartment List National Rent Report for May showed that new rents rose 0.5%. Normally during this time of year, rental prices will accelerate through June before reversing lower. Year over year, new rents are still down 0.8% and have been negative since last August. Something that may continue to keep new rental increases lower is the higher national vacancy rate at 6.7%, which should continue to remain elevated with all the multifamily new construction comes to market. We hope at some point the inflation reports we receive capture these lower numbers. Initial jobless claims came out again. They rose 3,000 to 219,000. It's still a bogus number. There's no way this is accurate. And I'll tell you why. You've got 50 states. We know that for sure. You've got the District of Columbia. They all report different. They all collect the data different. Yet the number stays the same month after month after month. Do you think there's a real likelihood of that really being accurate? That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We've got a great guest with us today, and it's an interesting topic. And I love this topic because I've gone to many, many different events, and I've seen quite a few people discuss what we're going to talk with Frank Garcia about. And as you know, we provide expert advice for homeowners and first-time home buyers. Today, Frank Garcia is a financial services veteran with 25 years of experience, here to discuss the best strategies for Social Security planning. Big term there, not just paying the tax that we have to pay, but planning. If you're wondering when to collect your Social Security benefits to maximize your income, this episode is for you. Frank is a registered Social Security analyst, brings a wealth of knowledge and practical tools to the Social Security roadmap to help you plan your financial future. Let's dive in. Welcome, Frank Garcia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So Frank, we hear all these things. It's, should I take my Social Security at 60 or 62 or 65,
Right.
66, 67, 70, 75? Some of us might even live to 80.
Right.
Right. So is it just a matter of what do I want to do, or is there mathematics and science behind what people should do?
Well, that's a good question. And there is mathematics and science behind that. And that's what we do, myself, as a registered Social Security analyst. We take your information from SSA.gov and we put it into our programs. And then from our experience, we run and do an analysis for you, which we call a roadmap. And the roadmap is then going to tell you the 4 best optimum times for you to take Social Security based on your own personal situation. And I say that because everybody's situation is different. And I have some case studies that I can share with you that will explain that. What do you think? We should.
I like that. I like that idea, because one of the things that we find so frequently is people will go down and I've heard this for decades.
Yeah.
Is I'm a senior. No, I'm not, but I've heard it for decades. My in-laws, my other people that I know that are seniors, and they go and they sit and they have coffee, or they're playing bingo. And what are they talking about? They're talking about their Social Security, and they're talking about their Medicare and their Medicare Advantage.
Exactly.
And where do they get their advice? They get their advice from their friends, family, neighbors, many people who may or may not have any clue about what they're talking about in the situation. So I'm glad you brought us a couple of real life, real time examples. Sure. Salespeople. Let's talk about the salespeople you mentioned, Jimmy. Give us a little bit of background.
All right. So we have a case that we're working on right now. Husband and wife, in their the spouse is in the early 60s, and the husband is in the mid 60s. And she is, they've both been very successful in sales. They're making 100,000 plus a year, and which has been good for them for income wise. But, reality, is that our spouses, our wives, she's been raising the kids and she's been working all these years, but she wants to retire. She wants to stay home and, enjoy
raise the grandkids.
Life. Yeah. Raise the grandkids. So what we're looking at is how can we help her do this at the earliest age, which would be age 62. And then how could we help the husband who's going to continue to work and make good income? How can we help him to weave into or move into when he needs to be? So let's talk about that just for a minute. And that situation is this. Keep in mind, if she pulls that trigger and goes to taking Social Security at age 62, right, she will have to literally completely stop working full time and maybe only work part-time if she does, because anything that she makes over $22,320 in a year after she starts taking her Social Security at age 62 they're going to take $1 for every $2 she makes. So that's going to destroy it. So she can't make any more than that, right? And also now keep in mind, at age 62, she's going to get only 70% of what she should have received at full retirement age. But that's okay. She's in a good position to do that. So she didn't realize that. So that's what we're working with her to better understand. Now, keeping that in mind, now we're talking about her husband.
Wait, go back before you go too far
Yeah.
there, Frank. What would happen if she was still working and, she and her husband have a business entity
Mhm.
and she just gets paid minimum wage or something very, very minimal? Is she allowed to do that?
She is allowed to do that. Any W-2 income that you make in the year that you take Social Security from age 62 through full retirement age, which is age 67, you're going to be taxed on it dollar for dollar for every dollar that you make. One for every $2, you lose it.
So what she has to do is she has to minimize her W-2 income
Yes.
and maximize either if she wanted to distributions or
Yes.
interest income, dividend income,
That's
things like
correct. That's rental income.
that. Rentals, okay.
That's that type of stuff. So she can still have all that kind of income, which they do have some rental properties. So that's a plan and idea. Now, the husband will continue to work, and he'll continue to work full time, making good money until he hits age 67, which is full retirement age. And then at that point, he can trigger his income at full retirement age, and it doesn't matter how much he makes, he'll get full retirement benefit.
Okay. So
that's
if he waits till 67, he can take, what's the maximum right now?
the maximum is like 260,000 approximately that you're going to be taxed on for Social Security.
No. I mean, as far as the maximum benefit, I'm sorry.
Oh, the maximum benefit is about 3,900.
So he could collect that full 3,900
Yeah.
if he waits till 67, regardless of how much he's earning.
That's correct.
And he's still paying into Social Security at that time too, right?
That's correct.
If he's working.
Yeah, because his income he gets it by W-2 income, not to
Interesting.
count his other income that he has from rental properties and stuff. Yeah.
So the bottom line there is, how many people really know these things? Do you really understand? I mean, I thought, so I'm 62. If I'm 62, I might as well just start taking mine because I'm going to die at 72, probably. I don't know. None of us really do. Well, actually, the big man is the only one that really knows when our time is up. But the bottom line here is you got to get some guidance from somebody that really understands these things. And I'll share with you. I've gone to probably 10 seminars on Social Security. And every time I go, I learn something new. How many have you been to? How many of you listened to where people are really getting into it, that really understand the process completely? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the biggest mistakes buyers are making in real estate today, and more story time with Frank Garcia. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference in the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Biggest mistakes real estate buyers are making today. Buyers face challenges in any market. Today is no different. With higher mortgage rates and rising prices, plus the limited supply of homes for sale, there's a lot to consider. But there's one way to avoid getting tripped up, and that's leaning on a real estate agent for the best possible advice. An expert's insights will help you avoid some of the most common mistakes home buyers are making right now. Putting off pre-approval or pre-underwrite, or as our team says, the modern pre-approval, which is interactive. As part of the home buying process, the lender will look at your finances to figure out what they're willing to loan you for your mortgage. This gives you a good idea of what you can borrow so you can really wrap your head around the financial side of things before you start looking at homes. While house hunting can be a lot more fun than talking about finances, you don't want to do this out of order. Make sure you get your pre-approval, your modern pre-approval first. As CNET explains, quote, if you wait to get pre-approved until the last minute, you might be scrambling to contact a lender and miss the opportunity to put a bid on a home, unquote. Holding out for perfection, while you may have a long list of must-haves and nice-to-haves, you need to be realistic about your home search. Even though your ideal state is you find a home that checks every box, you may need to be willing to compromise, especially since inventory is still low. Plus, a home that has everything you want may be too pricey. As Investopedia puts it, quote, when you expect to find the perfect home, you could prolong the home buying process by holding out for something better, or you could end up paying more for a home just because it meets all of your needs, unquote. Did somebody say rsrlinks.com/RVO? rsrlinks.com/RVO. What is the cost of waiting? Instead, look for something that has most of your must-haves and good bones, where you can add anything else you may need down the line. Buying more house than you can afford. With today's mortgage rates and home prices, there's no arguing. It's expensive to buy a home. And while it may be tempting to stretch your finances a bit further than you're comfortable with today to make sure you get the house, you want to avoid overextending your budget. Make sure to talk to your agent about how changing mortgage rates impact your monthly budget. Bankrate offers this advice, quote, focus on what monthly payment you can afford rather than fixating on the maximum loan amount you qualify for. Just because you qualify for a $300,000 loan doesn't mean you can comfortably afford the monthly payments that come along with it with your other financial obligations. Every borrower's case is different, so factor in your whole financial profile when determining how much house you can afford, unquote. that's why we look at the whole picture, not just what you can afford, because it may not be, if you're not comfortable with what you can afford, we can get you qualified for it. You can get there, but then you're married to the mortgage. Is that really what you want? Not working with a local real estate agent. The last one, maybe the most important of all. Buying a home is a process that involves a lot of steps, paperwork, negotiation, and more. Rather than take all of this on yourself, it's a good idea to have a pro working with you. The right agent will reduce your stress and help the process go smoothly. Again, CNET explains, quote, attempting to buy a home without a real estate agent makes the process more arduous than it needs to be. A real estate agent can give you professional legal guidance, market expertise, and support, which will save you time, money, and stress. They can also increase your chances of finding the right home, so you don't have to spend hours scouring the internet for listings, unquote. I don't get it. Why would anybody want to go and buy a property without a real estate agent or sell a property without an agent? You can go online. And I hear this all the time. Ron, I can go online and find any house I want. Yeah, you can go online and find out how to do knee surgery too. You may not have the best results. I have a friend of mine that had emergency gallbladder surgery. She looked it all up online. I wonder what would have happened if she tried to do it herself. Probably wouldn't have come out too good. But you're going to take your biggest asset, for most of us, your house, your biggest liability, for most of us, your mortgage, and you want to try and do that on yourself? Bottom line, mistakes can cost you time, frustration, and money. If you want to buy a home in today's market, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. We are chatting with Frank Garcia today. It's story time on Ron Siegel Radio. I got another story for you in the Borrow Smart segment today also. But let's talk about grave situations. Not that kind of grave, but legitimately grave. As we get older and older, I mean, it's amazing right now. When was the last time you went on a full 24-hour news cycle and didn't hear about somebody dying? I mean, it's just crazy right now. It's unbelievable how many people are dying. But, you know, when a spouse dies, especially if they're the breadwinner, it can be a very stressful time. But maybe there is a benefit, maybe there's not, in getting a survivor benefit. Should you take one? I'm gonna guess, Frank. You're gonna tell me it depends.
It really depends on the situation. Yes.
So let's hear about this one. This story time.
Okay. Yeah. So currently working with a individual that was referred to me, and she is in her mid-60s. She lost her spouse end of last year, and he was a high income earner, and she has been a high income earner pretty much their whole marriage. So they do have money. They do have nice Social Security income that they will be receiving. Well, what happened was he has the deceased spouse did not start taking Social Security prior to passing late last year. So immediately when I met with her the first time, she says, well, I'm going to start collecting that that survivorship benefit that I'm supposed to be able to get. And I said, okay, that sounds like an idea. Let's revisit this and talk about the yes and the no's and the whys and why you should or you shouldn't. So make a long story short, reviewing her situation and reviewing the issues that we've got going on with that, basically she could take the survivorship benefit, but because she's taking it before her full retirement age, which is be 67, she basically would pay, a penalty and only receive 80% of it. But what about the 80%, Frank? Well, okay, that's a great question. Her income exceeds significantly the amount that she could earn, and that's only $22,320 by W-2 income. So every dollar that she would receive over that, she would pay $1 for every $2. So that would be significantly greater than the survivorship benefit. So do you have a solution? That's a huge problem, right, Frank? Yeah.
So wait, back up,
yeah.
Frank. So if she takes the benefit,
Yes.
and let's just say for round numbers, I don't care what the number is. She was going to get $3,000 a month.
Now she's going to get, let's just say it was 50% of whatever his was.
Okay,
correct?
so
Whatever
let's
his
call
full
it
retirement-
1,500.
There you go. That's a good
Okay.
number.
So now, for every $2 she makes, she loses $1. For every $1 she makes, she loses $2.
Every dollar, every $1 to $2 she makes, she loses $1 of the dollar amount that she earns W-2 income over $22,320.
So if she's earning $60,000 a year, she's going to lose all of that $1,500.
Exactly.
She gets zero.
She gets zero.
Okay, what's the solution then, Frank?
Well, there's a great solution. You want to tell me? I'm going to give them the solution.
I want to hear.
Okay.
I want to hear this solution.
Okay. Here's the solution.
Now, this may not be for you. This is this particular solution.
Right.
If you want your solution, well, you got to call Frank. That's.
Yeah,
but
we'll help
tell
you
it-
with
let's
it. I'll
let's
help
talk
you with
about what's
So
the.
the solution is this: you do not take the survivorship benefit till you wait till full retirement age, which is age 67, and then you start taking the survivorship benefit. And you have no penalties. You can make as much money as you want to make, and you'll get the survivorship benefit with no issues. And you don't take your own personal full retirement benefit. You let it grow 8% each year to age 70. Then when you hit age 70, you stop taking your survivorship benefit and you take your own full retirement benefit at age 70, and it's grown by 24%. It's a win-win situation.
So I'm only going to, in that scenario, I only get to collect, or this lady only gets to collect the survivor benefit for 3 years.
That's correct.
Okay. So,
But that's 3 years of income that, you wouldn't get unless you knew how to do it,
right.
because
Well-
otherwise you'd give it all back.
So if she started taking it at 62, she's going to lose it for 5 years through taxes, right? Through that,
Sure.
but she'd still get the other 3 years anyway, too, as well, right?
That's correct.
So there's no real benefit to her in taking it earlier.
There's no benefit.
And again, the whole idea here is you got to talk to somebody who understands these things. Otherwise, you're in real trouble and you're going to get nowhere. We're going to have one more story from Frank, one
Yes.
more story from me. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. all without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Is it good to be debt-free? That is our question today. So here it is. Here's the scenario story time with Ron. So we've got a lot of people right now we're hearing about are leaving the state of California. Have you ever heard that before? Yeah, there's a lot of them leaving. So we just have a case we're working on right now. Family decided that they're going to sell their restaurant in Southern California. They're going to sell their house in Southern California. They're moving, I don't know, Tennessee, Alabama, one of the states out there, Kentucky, out in the other side of the country. They wanted to move back to America. So they decided, well, they've got all this money, and they went and paid cash for a property. They like the idea, no mortgage. Is that smart? Well, here's the issue. They went over there, paid cash for the property. They don't have the business anymore. They don't have income anymore. They don't have enough to live off of for the rest of their lives, and they're starting they wanted to buy some raw land and build on it. So they called the team and they said, we need to borrow some money. We said, okay, what kind of income do you have? Well, turns out there was some income coming in, but nothing that's usable according to guidelines. What kind of assets do you have? Well, it's not structured in such a way that it's usable for lending guidelines. But we've got a house and it's free and clear. It's worth about $900,000. We owe nothing on it. So you are equity rich, cash poor, and non-bankable. Not exactly the way we want to do things. That's why planning is part of the process. Now, think about that. If they had gone and looked at our Home Select loan before they moved, before they sold the business, they could have been in the new property, still had no mortgage payment, but had the ability to write a check for up to 80% of whatever they qualified for when they took out the loan, not after the fact down the road. Borrow smart. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Continuing our conversation, Frank Garcia is with us. He is a Social Security guru. He's got the fancy letters and stuff that go after his name, but I just say Social Security guru. He went and got all the training and passed the test, and he's the smart guy now and understands how Social Security works. But I heard this, Frank. I go down to Balboa and I walk, and I was talking to a financial advisor down there about a month or so ago, and he's sharing, in that area, you've got a lot of seasoned individuals. Right. I refer to seasoned. As I get older and older, I don't say old people anymore. It's seasoned. So, and he had somebody that was just similar to what you were talking about before the broadcast. So you're looking at a 69-year-old spouse with a 59-year-old. And you can almost guess that if it's a male or female is which age, because they've also got a teenage child.
Right.
Now, the 69-year-old probably qualifies for Social Security, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is there a solution here?
Of course.
Okay, let's talk about it. Tell me the story. I like story time with Frank.
Yeah. Well, the stuff that we're talking about here is like Ron said, I did all the studies, 4-hour exam. Oh, it was amazing. It was work. It was hard. And now I'm a registered Social Security analyst. And this is great because I get to help people with these types of questions. So the situation that exists here is I was referred to this individual that he thought maybe he had some Social Security income that he could receive, but he wasn't sure how it would affect him based on his income. So make a long story short, they have a 16-year-old son. 16-year-old son, he could have been collecting dependent benefit for the son plus Social Security benefit for himself since full retirement age, which was 67. But he didn't know that. So he said, what do I do? Can I get it? It's going to affect me. I said, well, you're past full retirement age, so it's not going to affect your income that you're earning. And guess what? Why don't we do the retro earn back for the past 6 months and get that income that you could have received from Social Security and for what your dependent child could have received. And then you'll have another year to collect dependent benefit when he graduates high school next year. You're brilliant, he said. I said, no, I'm not brilliant. I said, I just, I applied the rules and applied the concepts and took your case, and now we have a solution. Oh, he is so excited. So that's one option that you can look at. And that happens a lot because,
he must, I hope he's taking you to dinner at least, because he's getting
actually, he's referred business to me. I have several people I'm working on.
$3,000-$4,000 a month he's getting, right? Probably for
exactly.
Just because he spoke to you.
Because he was referred to me, now he's referring me business to help people with a similar. And that happens a lot now, Ron, because you have individuals who lose their spouse and they want to be married and possibly have a child with their new spouse. So this is a situation that happens a lot of time. Either the younger or the older, doesn't matter. They want to be happily married, and being happily married, they want a child. They have one. So now guess what? They have a child in their later years that they're eligible to get dependent benefit for.
No, you don't even hear people talk about dependent benefit, but something you got to understand all these things. Now, let me ask you this question, because we do have about 2 or 3 minutes, Frank.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this because, if I'm a 67-year-old.
Yes.
And I find out that I'm maxed out, and I think you said about 3,900 is my max as far as full retirement benefit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the number is, but they take, what is it? Your highest 30 quarters or something of your.
No. So in order to be eligible for the maximum amount of Social Security benefit, you have to have earned 40 quarters, and they take the highest 35 years of indexed earnings, and they take that and add it together, divide it by 35, and then that's your income highest earning that you got.
Okay, so now say I'm at full retirement age, I start taking it, but I'm still working. And I'm going to work until I'm 75, and I'm earning more money now than I've ever earned in my life.
Right.
Can I go back and ask them to recalculate based on the new on the next 4, 5, 6 years of earnings, being that they're so much more than they were 35 years ago?
You can only go back 1 year. And the only way you can go back 1 year is you have to return all the payments you received for the 1 year and then redo it.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go through a calculation, I'm sure, that you can do.
Yeah.
And figure out if it makes sense to do it or not do it.
But keep in mind, at age 67, which is full retirement age now for most people, right? You're going to get 100% of your retirement income, full retirement benefit, and you're not going to have a penalty for earning any amount of money you make.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they're going to, if they'll reevaluate based on having more money in income. So being that most of us, our later years are our highest earning years.
That's right. And you got to remember, when we do the analysis for you, we take the 35 years highest earned income, and then we come up with the lowest one of those 35 years, which is an indexed year of income. And if you make more than that amount in the years prior to your full retirement age, then that can be increased. And then you could increase it. I'm working with a case right now, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to increase about $35 every month for every year that he continues to work up to age 67.
It's amazing how this stuff works. If you want to talk to Frank Garcia, give me a
Yes.
call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with him. He can actually go through this with you, figure out what makes sense for you, for your family, and see if there is an alternative. Don't get the guidance. And I know that you love your family, and I know you've got some great friends, but I don't know that how many of them have gone through all the training and the 4-hour test that Frank did. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with Frank Garcia so you get professional guidance. And as always, I ask that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him